Good day everyone, today we are going to install paint protection film, also known as a clear bra, on my Tesla Model Y.
3, 2, 1.
So first things first, if you're going to do this, if you have a front bumper, you're gonna have to remove it. I was able to remove mine with a heat gun, but there was still some adhesive left over, so how did I get rid of that? I just used some intense tar remover. That did the trick. You're gonna wanna have a super clean bumper because you definitely don't wanna have any problems with the paint protection film. Now I wanted to ensure that my cleaning was thorough, so I even used some Iron Maiden fallout remover, and the reason I did this is I thought maybe there was some industrial fallout, but upon looking at it, I didn't see any signs of iron in the clear coat because normally this stuff turns color, it turns purple if there's something there. So there was nothing there. So that was really good. And then I used some wax-free car shampoo. And after that, I gave it a little bit of a polish just to ensure. And then even finally, I used some Car Pro eraser to make sure there was absolutely nothing there. All right, so I'm all done my polishing, and you can see without direct light on it, it looks smooth as glass, but with direct light, you can take a look and you can see all this. Now that's with the polishing. So what this is it's tiny little chips from the highway and it just looks awful. Now keep in mind, you have to have a super bright light right on it to see it. So if I was just driving around normally or you would walk around, you would never ever notice it. But if this isn't reason to get a clear bra, then I don't know what is. The vehicle's only got about, I forget what it is, about 2,500 kilometers or maybe like 1,200 miles on it. So it doesn't even have a lot of kilometers, but it just goes to show you how easy these front bumpers pit up. And I guess because it's plastic, I get little indents and I can feel them a little bit with my thumb. So I don't think I would be able to actually polish it all out smoothly. Like I did take the polisher to it with a white pad and this was the result. So I mean, it looks great. It's definitely glossy if I turn off the light. There's no scratches. I mean, it looks really good. But when you put a direct light, you can definitely see those chips. Curiously enough, I wonder what one of these front bumpers look like after it has about 20,000 miles on it. That would be very interesting. Anyway, now let's get to the fun stuff. So we need our solution. So to make our slip solution here, we can use some Johnson & Johnson's, just some baby shampoo along with distilled water, a couple drops, that'll work. And then in terms of another type of slip solution, I actually bought the Xpel Gel, and you'll see through the video, that's what I use pretty much the whole time. That's what I found the easiest. Here you can see I have some popping pens. I have, if we pan over here, a bunch of Squeegees. These ones I really like because they have different hardnesses actually written on them, so they're great for the beginner. You can get them on Amazon. This little tool here will hold razor blades. And these are priceless. I use them on a ton of jobs because they're just great for lifting the film when you make a mistake or you got to get something out. So there's a part number, and I actually bought from Xpel. I know you can get on eBay, you can get on a bunch of different sites, but it's not real Xpel, and I wanted to put real Xpel on. So now I'm just squirting the Xpel Gel right directly onto the bumper. After a while, it does sort of sag down or leak off. It does do that. So make sure that you get your Xpel paint protection film on, reasonably quick afterwards. Now, the one thing I found with this is it's a two-person job to try to get this off, just because you definitely don't want to drop it. So once you have your bumper really sprayed down good, next thing to do is just to unwrap it. I found it was easiest to go from the driver's side to the passenger side and just kind of pull the plastic backing away from the paint protection film with the goal to have it hanging on the front of your Tesla. Now here you can see, if you look in the bottom of my screen, some of the paint protection film has rolled over on itself. Now I'm able to pull it apart here. It makes it a lot easier if you have gel. So you can never have enough gel and slip solution. If it rolls over dry, I don't know, you might be fighting with it for a bit. But your initial purpose will be just to hang it on the car. Now you can see the great thing about this gel is you can really move the whole thing and it kind of almost floats on it. There you go, you can see the whole thing is floating, so you can get the lights in the way they're supposed to, you get everything in sort of the way it's supposed to. I'm gonna line up this big tow hook and then this one first, and then just sort of tack the Sarah down, work on this side, and then I'll do the same thing. Now you gotta make sure with the gel you keep it wet, but the nice thing is you won't get any soap bubbles because there's no soap in it. So let's start with the tow hook first, as I said. So here you can see I'm using a squeegee and I'm just going around the tow hook. Now the one thing I found about using the Xpel Gel is you almost don't need tack solution, because once you push out the gel enough, the film just kind of starts tacking itself. So it's kind of weird. It'll do it the same with slip, I guess, but I find the gel seems to be just a little bit more forgiving. And you can see here, it's not a big deal. If you have to reposition it, then do so. And here I'm just trying to make sure that this front sensor aligns with the tow hook. Sometimes you gotta just give it a wipe just to see exactly where the film ends. And as I mentioned before, never be afraid to use too much slip solution, whether that be, you know, with the baby shampoo or the Xpel Gel. You just can never use too much. All right, now my piece from Xpel, right from Xpel, came in 2 pieces. So this bottom piece is it's on its own, nothing's attached. You can see it actually is going to go right up in there. And then if we follow it on this side, you can see there's a slit. I'll have to line this part up with here. And here is the bottom piece, which actually lays right in there, just like that. All right, so you can see I got this part in here. It's all lined up. And now if we scroll over to this sensor, you can see I have to stretch. It. Maybe this is better, which is a little bit of shaded angle. There you go. You can see there, if I wipe it off, you can see there it is. So this has to pull over, and obviously you can see it's got to pull over here more. So we can pull this over. So we're just going to pull this part over here and we're going to stretch it. So I found the easiest way was, you can see right there, I'm pushing out the solution just by the front headlight, and that sort of tacks it up in that area, which is important. Now when I pull them up this way to line this cord, it's going over the headlight, and I don't want that. So what I'm going to have to do is kind of, I think I have to lock this part down here. Almost lined up. I'm going to hold it just for a minute. Now I got the bottom of the headlight, and for me it's stretching, but I just want to maintain this part here. And that side's locked down there. Now we just want to pull this side up here. You just really have to take your time. And we're just gonna pan around here. There's a sensor right there, and I have it. This obviously has to be stretched a little bit more this way, and I can kind of start pulling it over a little bit like this. That'll go up. All right, so I got this side pretty much tacked down. It looks pretty good. We got a few fingers there, don't worry, we'll work them all out. And you can see everything is lined up where it is supposed to be. Got a few bubbles in that, but I mean, we're far from done. So anyway, I got this side all lined up here. Now I'm noticing with the Tesla, it looks quite a bit short, but I know it's not. It's just got to be stretched into place. So I had done this part right here, and this sensor here, you can see it's pretty much almost lined up. So what we have to do is make sure that this second one is lined up, and I think that one goes right in there. There you can see, there it is right there, and there's the hole. So it's getting close. Get the center part down. And you can see, in order to work on the center part right here, what I'm working at, and pull it down, you have to have the top part right in front of the frunk. You have to have that tacked down. And then you can work on the center part, basically just pulling it all down, and you'll find out right here if you're doing it correctly. And if the top part is lined up, right here, this should line up very, very closely. And once you get the center lined up, then we can move to the passenger side. Let's take a look. All right, and you can see here, it's actually looking pretty decent. It's pretty lined up. But over here, you can see the light is not lined up. There it is right there. So this part's got to go down there, so I got to pull this down, and that makes sense because you can see there's excess material here, so I got to pull that down. This is a tough spot here. I'm gonna do what I did to the other side, and I'm just gonna work on the fingers, line the light up, and then pull it all down. things down here, you got to get these to line up pretty closely. So I'm just going to put this one on now, and then we'll do this one. This other one we're just going to move over like this just for now. This has got to go right on the bend. Right there, you can see, right on the bend. Yeah, this is not easy. This part just, big angle. I guess because you got to go inside here. Some guys have had to cut it. I don't know. I don't want to cut it. I think I'm just going to continue to sort of try to stretch it into place for a little bit. Just doing the underside of, I guess, this part, if you want to call it that. And what I found is there's sort of a flat spot right there. So you have the normal Tesla bumper, then you get a flat spot, and then another flat spot, and then it goes in again. So what I was doing is just getting the fingers and making sure that this part is all okay on the flat spot. See there, you can see. So we just gotta squeegee this part in. We may need a little tack here. I don't know if the gel will let go, just to spray it behind here and then just go like this. Because you know what, even if there is a little bubble or something, you would never notice it because here's the top of the car. So you would never notice it here. It's just really, really springy. I was able to get the other sides down and they look good. I got an odd bubble and hopefully those come out tomorrow. I had to use a little bit of tack solution on this side. On the other side, the one that I showed you, I didn't have to use any tack solution. So it's just the way they kind of went. And you can see, just by doing that, seems to have worked, and it's holding now on this underside here. So we got a couple little fingers here, so not a big deal. We can just push those out just like so, and just see the gel coming out. There we go, those couple fingers there, and we can just keep working them, and they'll eventually come out if we keep working them. There we go, and yeah, there we go. Wasn't sure if that was a finger or not, just on the phone, but no, it was just a bubble. So there we go, that's nice and smooth. So we worked out that underside, and there's just a little bit more gel. You can see that side is looking really good. It's just this side I really have to worry about, because this side is just too tight here. There, and using this little squeegee here, I was able to sort of just work it like this and then have it stay. So that side stayed, so now I'll just go work on the other side and then we'll put this last little piece in, that center piece there. So here's the other side, and even just with pushing it in, it's a little drier now. Some of the gel is dried up. Actually, look at that. Just by pushing it in, we're able to do that. Little finger there. I wonder if I can even just get it out with my finger. There we go. And there, we're able to take that out. Okay, and I have this long piece lined up. This is the last piece to go. So you can see how it's cut here. It's cut on an angle. So it's got a little bit longer right there, and then it's cut like that. So this part here gets tucked in, and then we're gonna actually force it up a little bit. And then here's the other piece. I don't know if you can see it, it's right here. And then what we're gonna do is slide these pieces together, just like so. We're gonna try to line them up. And then this can just sort of flap up like that in there. And this will come down and go just like that. And then we'll, actually there's the two pieces joining right there. There, just like this. Now we gotta go to the other side, line up the center, because as you can see with the center part is, it's over too far, so we gotta actually pull it down. You'll see I'll pull it down there, just like that. We're just gonna have to pull it down and line it up. There we go. We're gonna have some fingers to deal with, but that's not a big deal. But before we start pushing this down, let's just make sure our other side is okay. Now that we got our front piece on, the end sides, now I can start sort of doing the rest of it. But what I want to do is I just want to make sure that it's lined up in the center. There we go, center here part is good. And I'm feeling the line all the way across, so you know what? I think we're in business. And if anyone tries this themselves, you know, even if it's not perfect, heck, you're probably saving yourself like $600 to $800. So even if you get like a bubble or two, just pop it at the end. And we might have to lift it a bit at the end because you can see we got a big bubble there where we're holding it over. So we're just, or maybe, you know, maybe we can push it back. Let's check it out. Let's see. There we go. Took it all out. That is awesome. And there's the line. You can see the line right there. That should dry up there. Good. All right, now I can't seem to get this to stay in. You can see I just want to wrap it a bit. And it doesn't want to stay, even with my picks there. You can see it keeps kind of popping out. So I'm just going to put a little bit of heat on it. There you go. There you go, and that's all we need. That will hold it up there. So if you have any fingers that you can't get rid of at the end, something like this, if you just want to roll them, and a heat gun works like a charm, just don't do it too much. Make sure your hands aren't burning. If your hands aren't burning, if your hands are burning, then you're obviously too hot. But that's a neat little trick. And don't forget to put the bubble on right there. There we go. And then just give her a squeegee. Now the next day, this is what happened. I actually saw this part was pulled up. So what I did was I sprayed some tack solution on it and I took a little razor blade and I don't know, this is what I did and it actually did work. You can see here, I'm pushing it out. Be very, very careful when you do it with the razor blade. But just by doing this, I felt it was the best way to get this little part down. And I mean, no one's gonna see it anyway. So this is what I did. And then all the rest of the bubbles did come out. So just so you know, that's what I did. You may have the same problem. So that's it for the video. I just have some tool marks there, but those will come off. That's not a big deal. What did I use? I used some squeegees. These things came in really handy. These little picks, just when I have to lift the film at certain, when I can't use my fingers and I don't want to stretch it too much. I really like those picks. A couple squeegees. And like I said, I use the Xpel Gel, the installation gel. Some people use the slip solution, but the problem is I just don't think I'm a pro at this. And this turned out really, really good. I was really happy. I have used a regular slip solution when I did the A-pillars. Worked out fine, but on something this big, that's like a really big bumper, I trusted this more because it allows the clear bra to float, or the paint protection film can actually just float on it. So that was it. Make sure you prep really well. I used some CarPro cleaner. You saw all the stuff that I did on there. And anyway, you can tell I'm feeling kind of tired. So anyway, hope to see you next week. That's it. Garage King over and out.